सुबह की शुरुआत कॉफी से होती है. Especially if you're a South Indian, the day starts with a cup of steaming hot filter coffee. I cannot do without my coffee. I need my coffee. And of course, why am I talking so much about coffee today? Because in today's class, we'll be talking a little bit of coffee, the origins, and we are going to do something very interesting. For all the viewers who are coming to my channel for the first time, I would like to just let you all know that mine is an educational art tutorial where before any art or craft I teach you all, I'll first give you all an intro and then an explanation about what work we are going to do. And also at the end of the video, you will get to hear about a famous quote from an artist. So if you do like my channel, do consider subscribing. Namaste, I'm Kala and you're watching Kala Art Online. So today's class is going to be an interesting activity. Of course, it's going to be an art today because we did a craft last week. So in art, what are we going to do? We are going to do a painting. But the painting is not using your regular watercolors, poster colors or acrylic. It is using coffee. That is why I'm going to discuss a lot about coffee today. Let me give you a few fun facts about coffee. Do you know that this drink dates back to 800 AD? And who discovered coffee? It is believed that a group of goat herders discovered coffee because once the goats ate these seeds, they realized they were more active. So this was discovered by a group of goat herders. Now, coffee is the second most traded commodity in the world. Do you know which is the most traded commodity in the world? If you do know the answer, if you can take a guess, do write in the comment section and I will give you the answer in the next tutorial. Do let me know which is the most traded commodity in the world. Now, what is coffee? Coffee beans are technically seeds. There are two main types of coffee, Arabica and Robusta. Now, the country which grows the most coffee in the world is Brazil. Can you guess where are the world's biggest coffee lovers? Finland is the home to the biggest coffee lovers. And Starbucks, it is said, Starbucks opens an average of 2 stores per day. That much of coffee is consumed around the world. Now, what does the term espresso mean? Espresso means pressed out in Italian. This refers to the way the coffee is made. Boiling water is pressed through these coffee grounds to get this coffee. Now, 1 cup of black coffee has only 1 calorie. We increase the calories in coffee by adding sweeteners or sugar or milk. So all this you will have to reduce, and black coffee on its own has hardly any calories. Let me explain the beauty ritual in Hindi now. कॉफ़ी हमारे स्किन के लिए भी बहुत अच्छा है. वो एक स्क्रब जैसा यूज कर सकते हैं. कैसे? कॉफ़ी को डायरेक्टली हमारे स्किन में स्क्रब कर सकते हैं टू रिमूव द डेड सेल्स, या उसको रोज वाटर के साथ मिक्स करके स्क्रब कर सकते हैं टू मेक आवर स्किन मोर क्लियरर एंड ब्राइटर. सो कॉफ़ी इज ऑल्सो यूज्ड एज अ DIY face scrub. So I have given you all the basics about coffee. So what are we going to cover in today's class? In today's class, first we will see how to add texture to papers using coffee decoction. And then we will see how to make the different strength of the coffee decoction to do our painting. And finally, we'll make a beautiful painting. So let's get started with today's class. Welcome to Coffee Art. Now, a very interesting part of coffee art वो है ये पेपर में टेक्सचर देना. आप ये प्लेन पेपर भी यूज़ कर सकते हैं या देयर आर 3 टाइप्स ऑफ टेक्सचरिंग द पेपर. तो पहले हम देखते हैं पेपर को टेक्सचर कैसे करते हैं. सो फर्स्ट इज कॉल्ड पेंटिंग ऑन द पेपर। ये बहुत ही इजी है, बस थोड़ा पानी लेना है, उसमें ऐड सम here, just add some coffee और बस इसको ऐसे very lightly पेंट करना है। It is very important that the coffee dissolves completely in the water. So this is called painting. So this is a kind of texture. Abhi suppose the paper is folding like this. Very easy, allow it to dry. Uske baad just iron it. At the back here with a hot iron, just press it. The paper will flatten out. So this is the first step of adding texture to a paper, and this is called painting on the paper. Now let's go to the second step of texturing the paper. इसके लिए I have taken a tissue roll. Now in this I will add some coffee. Now just hold it up like this, make a small bundle below. So this is what we are going to dip this in water, and then we are going to give a texture. So here is my paper. I'll just take some water here. I'll just press it like this here. So all over you're getting a beautiful textured effect. So this is the second way of texturing the paper. Now why are we texturing? Because it will give a beautiful antique kind of a look to the paper. Now you can make beautiful cards, you can make cards on this, write whatever message you want. So now let's go to the third step. The third step is called dyeing the paper. So let's see how we are going to dye the paper. Now for dyeing the paper, I have just taken a glass bowl with a little bit of water in it. और इसमें मैं ऐड करूँगी थोड़ा 2 spoons of coffee. और उसको अच्छे से मेल्ट करना as always. The whole thing should dissolve completely. This paper, we are just going to put it inside this water. Allow it to soak completely. Let the water drip out and we allow it to dry. So these are the dried ones. So this is the first step which we did, the painting directly on the paper. See what a beautiful effect. Second is I have used, remember the texturing which we have done. This is the second one, which is the texturing using a tissue paper. और finally इसमें थोड़ा effect तो आया है. This is the last one, which was dyeing the paper. The way it dried, I've just got an effect, but it gives a beautiful antique look. So this is also okay. So these are the 3 textures. Now I'll use them to design my artwork. Here it is. So here you can see I have taken 3 cups. And I also have got a cup with warm water. I'm not using cold water, I'm using warm water. And the coffee which I'm using this is one of my favorites, but this has got big granules, so it really doesn't matter. You can use either this or another instant coffee, this one. This is what I'm using. Now you can use any instant coffee which you have at home. So what we'll do, the first step, I'm just going to take 1 scoop of this coffee. This is instant coffee. So 1 spoon here, 1 spoon here, and 1 more goes here. So we are going to make 3 solutions. So in the first one, I'm going to make it nice and thick. This is for the finer part when you're giving the highlights. So for that, this is 1 coffee and I'm going to add 1 spoon of water. This is for the medium tone. So I will add 3 spoons of water. And finally, this one is the diluted one for the backdrop. So I'm going to add 5 spoons of water. This is more for the backdrop. So now you have to ensure there are no granules, or else it will not look good when we are painting. So you have to make sure they all dissolve completely. And the third one. So it's all completely dissolved. So these are the mixtures which we are going to use for our painting. तो ये है warm water और ये है 1 spoon coffee और 1 spoon warm water. ये है 1 spoon coffee और 3 spoon warm water और ये है 1 spoon coffee और 5 spoon warm water. ये हो गया highlighting के लिए. ये medium tone है for painting और ये backdrop के लिए light finish मिलेगा in the ratio of 1:5. So अभी शुरू करते हैं हमारा coffee painting. So this is what we are going to do today, and this is what we are using: water with brushes, 1:1, 1:3, 1:5, coffee decoctions. So let's start the painting. I'm taking the lightest decoction, and I have already just drawn very lightly, if you can see, the outline of the mermaid. So I'm just going to fill it with a light shade. So this way I'm just going to fill the complete mermaid. So now that this initial thing is done, I'm going to take the measurement of 1:3, the decoction of 1:3, and just give a bit of highlights here in this dress. Wherever I want the highlights, I will start a little bit here on this tail. So this is 1:3, and some strokes in the hair like this. Now after this, we'll go to coloring the eyes. So now what I'm going to do, this is almost dry. I'm going to use this darker shade 1:1, and now I'll just do a few highlights. Now we just outline. And same way here. Now the most beautiful thing about this coffee art is, while I let it dry, my whole room was smelling so beautiful of coffee. And once you finish this work, when you smell your paper, it will smell so amazing. I just love the smell of this coffee. So now I'm just giving some highlights. Let me outline here also. I'm just giving lines here. Okay, now I will just color the inside here. That's it. Now let me just give you one tip. Now suppose I have put, let's say, this color here, but I want, this is too dark for me. I want to get some shades here. All I have to do is take my tissue and just lift this color. So it gives a kind of a nice blended effect here. So then I can just give a bit of a darker shade. So coffee art is basically very easy. All you need is, other than these decoctions and plain water, you will just need a tissue here to lift the color. Now let this dry. I'm just going to the next step, which I just thought will look good. I'm just taking the lightest decoction and I'm just going to give a layer here. Here, this is the 1:5 ratio one, and let this go inside with this darker shade. I just thought, let me give some seaweeds. So this way we'll just go a few seaweeds all over to give it a beautiful underwater effect. I think we can have a strand of hair coming out from here. Okay, this looks good. Now, as I was painting, I just thought of another idea. This looks, now on top looks a bit bare, so I thought let's give it some nice effect. So probably we can just show some circles here to show some droplets, but I was thinking, here is my brush. Now I'm just going to splatter some coffee around it to give it a very beautiful effect. ये एक bubble का effect, let me show you. I'm just doing a circle like this. ये थोड़ा bubbles देते हैं underwater. Then इसके साथ निकाल देती हूँ color. Okay, and then with a fine brush, this is all my 1:1 highlighting color. I'll just outline. तो ये हो गया थोड़े से bubbles underwater. ये मेरा effect है, ये scene है underwater. Now the next one, this is something which I just realized. ये toothbrush, dip it in. I'm just taking the medium shade. It doesn't matter which one you want to do it in. Dust it और अभी इसको थोड़ा स्प्रे करेंगे all over. Okay, अब यहाँ face में है. I don't like it. So what will I do immediately? Just take a tissue and lift off the color. Here. It's as easy. Now I'll just retouch. Or same way, all these big spots I want to remove, just remove. So ये थोड़ा हो गया. अभी इसको ड्राई करने के लिए छोड़ देते हैं. और ये सब होने के बाद अगर थोड़ा फिशेस भी डालना है तो फिशेस ड्रॉ करेंगे ऐसा. So now that you know the basic technique of coffee art, you can go ahead and add more designs. So this is our basic coffee art. And finally, here. So this is a beautifully done coffee art. I hope you all have enjoyed today's class. So before I wind up, let me just do a recap of whatever we learned. We learned how to create texture on a paper of this is dyeing the paper, and then we did dabbing with tissue, and also we did just painting on the sheets. So we learned these three techniques of giving texture to the paper. And then of course we also learned how to give the strength of a coffee decoction for painting, and we have done this beautiful painting of course today. So I hope you all have enjoyed, and one of the favorite trays in my house is this, which has got made completely out of coffee beans. So coffee, it is not just a drink, you can also use it for painting if you run short of any more acrylic or poster colors. So go ahead, paint your dreams. And before I sign off, the quote for today, today's quote is a very beautiful quote. Painting is a poetry that is seen rather than felt, and poetry is a painting that is felt rather than seen. Leonardo da Vinci. It is such a beautiful quote. As always, before I sign off, for the viewers who are coming for the first time, do consider subscribing. Do click on that subscribe button and the bell notification to get the latest updates about my new videos. And for my subscribers and viewers, thank you all for being a part of my journey. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you already haven't. Dhanyavad. Thank you.